Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old as gold, but these Jefferson nickel 5-cent coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Coin number 1, where we uncover the hidden value in everyday change, and today, we've got something truly special that might just be hiding in your pocket, coin jar, or old collection. It's a seemingly ordinary 5-cent coin that could turn out to be worth a fortune. That's right, we're talking about the Jefferson nickel from 1979. Now, don't be fooled by its small size or common appearance. While millions of these nickels were minted in the late 1970s, there's something incredibly intriguing about a few select pieces from that year that makes collectors go wild. And if you happen to have one of these rare versions in your hands, you could be looking at a value worth tens of thousands of dollars. Stick with me until the end, and I'll reveal just how much this coin might be worth, and trust me, it's going to surprise you. Let's begin by stepping back into the late 1970s. The United States was going through a time of transition. The country had just emerged from the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal had rocked politics, and inflation was shaking the economy. Amidst all this, the U.S. Mint continued churning out everyday coins, including the humble Jefferson nickel. The 1979 Jefferson nickel might not look like anything out of the ordinary at first glance. It features the classic design introduced in 1938 by artist Felix Schlag. On the front, or obverse, you'll see a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson's image is paired with the words, "In God We Trust" to the left, "Liberty" to the right, followed by the year 1979. Flip it over, and the reverse shows Jefferson's Virginia home, Monticello, an iconic domed building that holds deep historical significance. Above it are the words E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one, and below, United States of America, and 5 cents. At first glance, this nickel looks just like every other one you've seen. But not all 1979 Jefferson nickels are created equal. While most of these coins were produced in massive quantities and saw heavy circulation, a small number have stood out over the years for one reason: minting errors and unique die characteristics. Here's where it gets really interesting. Some 1979 Jefferson nickels were struck with improperly prepared dies, resulting in rare variations that collectors absolutely crave. These include full steps on Monticello, which means the lines of the steps on the building are fully visible and sharply struck, an extremely rare detail. Why is that such a big deal? Because the full steps version requires an exceptional strike and near-perfect coin planchet, which is rarely achieved. Even rarer still are double die obverse or reverses, where the design elements appear to be slightly doubled due to a misalignment in the die striking process. If you see slight shadowing or doubling around the letters or numbers on your coin, it could be one of these valuable variations. Another possibility includes off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or other minting mishaps that escaped quality control. And now, condition is everything in the world of coin collecting. The vast majority of 1979 Jefferson nickels are heavily worn from years of use and are worth just face value. But if you come across a coin that looks untouched by time, meaning it shows no signs of wear, has strong details, and possibly even has a mirror-like shine, you might have something special. These coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless specimen. Coins that fall into the high 60s on this scale, especially those with full steps or recognized errors, can become incredibly valuable. Collectors and investors are always searching for pristine examples that have survived the passage of time with almost no blemishes. What makes the Jefferson nickel from 1979 such an exciting target for collectors is how underrated it has been for so long. It isn't flashy like a gold coin or as famous as the 1943 copper penny, but that's exactly why it's so thrilling. It's a sleeper coin. One that most people overlook, and that's what gives you the advantage. These kinds of coins sit quietly in drawers, jars, and forgotten boxes of change, waiting for someone with a sharp eye to recognize their hidden worth. And remember, the mint mark matters too. 1979 Jefferson nickels were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Look closely just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side to spot the tiny letter, a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark at all, which indicates Philadelphia. In particular, some San Francisco proof strikes with rare die varieties are among the most valuable and sought after. So now, the big question. How much could one of these seemingly ordinary 5-cent coins really be worth? Well, here's the answer you've been waiting for. If you are fortunate enough to possess a 1979 Jefferson nickel in absolutely uncirculated, pristine condition, particularly one with full steps or a rare mint error, its value could soar. Collectors have paid between $25,000 and $58,000 for the finest known examples of this coin. Let that sink in. What once bought a piece of candy in 1979 might now be worth more than a brand new car, or even a down payment on a house. So, before you spend that nickel or toss it into your change jar, take a moment. Get a magnifying glass. Check for full steps. Look for doubling. Examine its condition. Because you never know, your next 5-cent find could be the rare gem that transforms your coin collection or your bank account. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss another incredible coin discovery. And tell us in the comments, have you ever come across a rare Jefferson nickel? We'd love to hear your story. Coin number 2, we're uncovering the secrets behind one of the United States' most overlooked coins, the 1972 Jefferson nickel. Yes, that simple 5-cent piece you might toss into a tip jar or spend without a second thought could actually be something incredibly rare and valuable. You may want to check your old coin jars after this video because a few special 1972 Jefferson nickels have turned up that are worth far more than their face value, and if you're lucky enough to find one, you might be holding onto a true treasure. So let's travel back to 1972, a time of big shifts and bold changes in the United States. Richard Nixon was president, the Vietnam War was winding down, and the country was in the middle of cultural and political transformation. While all this was happening, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing millions of Jefferson nickels, continuing a design tradition that began back in 1938. At first glance, the 1972 nickel doesn't seem like much. It features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the front, facing left. This design, created by Felix Schlag, had already been used for decades by this time. You'll see the words "In God We Trust" to Jefferson's left, the word "Liberty" in the year 1972 to his right. On the back, the coin displays Jefferson's beloved home, Monticello, a stunning neoclassical estate in Virginia, along with the phrases "E pluribus unum," United States of America, and the coin's denomination, 5 cents. Pretty standard, right? But here's the secret: not all 1972 Jefferson nickels are created equal. The key to their rarity lies in the details, literally. First, we need to talk about a term that collectors love: full steps. On Monticello, if the steps leading up to the front entrance are fully struck and clearly defined with no interruptions, the coin is considered to have full steps. This detail may seem minor, but it's a huge deal in the world of numismatics. That's because achieving full steps during the minting process requires near-perfect conditions, a sharp die, a flawless coin blank, and just the right amount of pressure. Most coins come out with blurred or incomplete steps, especially in this era when quality control wasn't always perfect. So when collectors find a 1972 Jefferson nickel with full steps, especially in near mint or uncirculated condition, they know they've stumbled onto something rare. Combine full steps with a high grade, meaning the coin has minimal wear and retains its original luster, and now you've got a coin that sparks serious interest. But there's more. Some 1972 Jefferson nickels are known to have minting errors or anomalies that make them even more valuable. These could include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, or planchet errors. A double die, for example, occurs when the die used to stamp the coin shifts slightly between strikes, causing a doubling of the design. If you see what looks like a shadow or duplicate letters on the coin, especially around Liberty or the date, you might just be looking at a rare error coin. Then there are the mint marks. In 1972, nickels were produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If you look at the right side of Monticello on the reverse, you may see a small letter, a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. No letter? That means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Proof coins from San Francisco, especially if they were mistakenly struck with business strike dies or have other unusual characteristics, can also command high interest. You see, what makes the 1972 Jefferson nickel so exciting is the fact that it hides in plain sight. It's not flashy. It doesn't scream rare like a gold coin or a silver dollar. But that's what makes it dangerous in the best way. It could be sitting right in front of you, completely overlooked, until someone with a trained eye realizes what they have. Over the years, collectors and dealers have started to pay closer attention to this particular coin. And with fewer pristine examples surviving, especially with full steps or rare mint errors, their value continues to climb. Coins that were once thought to be ordinary are now being sent off to grading services like PCGS or NGC, only to come back with astonishing grades and equally astonishing values. And now, let's talk about what you've all been waiting for, the potential value of a rare 1972 Jefferson nickel. If you happen to find one of these coins in top-tier condition, meaning it has full steps, a near-perfect surface, or a recognized mint error, it could be worth a small fortune. Some of the rarest and most pristine examples of this coin have sold to collectors and investors for amounts ranging from $28,000 all the way up to $65,000. That's right. A 5-cent coin, struck in 1972, could today be worth more than a luxury car or even a full year's salary. So take a moment to dig through your old change, check your coin albums, or ask your grandparents if they've got a stash of old coins somewhere. You never know what kind of hidden gem you might uncover. And if you think you found something special, don't clean it, just handle it carefully and consider getting it professionally graded. That could be your ticket to unlocking its true value. If you found this story interesting or eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more rare coin discoveries. Turn on notifications so you never miss another episode. We've got lots more hidden treasures to share. And if you've ever come across a rare nickel or any valuable coin, drop your story in the comments below. We love hearing from our fellow collectors. Coin number 3, where we explore the untold stories, hidden treasures, and valuable surprises hiding right under our noses. Today's video might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. Because that ordinary nickel you've been carrying around? It might not be so ordinary after all. We're diving deep into a coin that has stunned collectors and shocked even the most seasoned numismatists, the Jefferson nickel from the year 1990, specifically the one minted in Philadelphia. Yes, the 1990p nickel. It may sound like just another common coin, but don't be fooled. There's a version of this nickel that could be worth more than a brand new car, and it's hiding in plain sight. Let's go back to the early 1990s for a moment. The Cold War was winding down, the internet was still a mystery to most people, and gas was just over $1 a gallon. In the world of American coinage, the U.S. Mint continued its mission of pumping out billions of coins for circulation. The Jefferson nickel had already been in production for over 50 years by this point, and the design by Felix Schlag, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the front and his home, Monticello, on the back, was as familiar as the coins themselves. But in 1990, something happened. Something small, but significant. A quiet mystery began taking shape, one that would only be noticed by a handful of sharp-eyed collectors. And it had everything to do with a tiny detail that most people never even notice. The steps on Monticello. You see, most nickels minted for everyday use don't show the full, clear detail of the steps leading up to Jefferson's home. The minting process can be rough. The dies wear out, the strikes aren't always sharp, and most coins come out with soft, blurred designs. But when a coin is struck with such precision that all 5 or 6 steps at the base of Monticello are clearly defined, it's referred to as having full steps. And for collectors, that tiny detail makes a massive difference. Now here's where the 1990p Jefferson nickel gets exciting. A very small number of these coins came out of the Philadelphia Mint with razor-sharp details, brilliant luster, and those coveted full steps. Combine that with a near-perfect condition, no scratches, no wear, just as crisp as the day it was minted, and you've got a coin that rises far above the rest. But full steps aren't the only thing that can drive the value of this nickel through the roof. Some 1990p nickels are also known to have minting anomalies. These can include double die strikes, off-center misalignments, and even weak or missing design elements. Each of these variations adds another layer of rarity. Imagine owning a coin that not only survived the test of time in pristine condition but also came off the mint press with a unique error that sets it apart from every other coin of its kind. That's what collectors dream about. And then there's the grade, the official score a coin gets when it's evaluated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. The grading scale runs from 1 to 70. Coins that score in the high 60s are incredibly rare. If your 1990p Jefferson nickel has full steps and a grade of MS67 or higher, you're entering serious territory. Combine that with a known mint error, and you've got something truly extraordinary. What makes this coin even more exciting is how easily it can be overlooked. The 1990p nickel isn't ancient. It isn't silver or gold. It isn't a commemorative coin tucked away in a velvet box. It's a coin that millions of people handled every single day. It's the kind of coin you might find in an old coin jar, in your childhood collection, or even mixed into your change after a quick stop at the gas station. And that's what makes it such an incredible find. As so many of us have walked past this treasure without even knowing it. That's why today's story matters. Because even in a sea of common change, a rare gem can still shine. The key is knowing what to look for and having the curiosity to take a closer look. And now here comes the part you've all been waiting for. If you happen to come across a 1990 Jefferson nickel from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small P to the right of Monticello, and it has full steps, a flawless surface, and possibly even a recognized minting error, you're not just holding an ordinary coin. You're holding something that could be worth between $18,000 and $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single nickel. 5 cents in face value. But under the right conditions, it could be worth tens of thousands. So take a second look at your old change. Dig through those boxes in the attic. Ask your grandparents if they have any old coin rolls stored away. Because that little 1990p Jefferson nickel might be the golden needle in the haystack and your ticket to a very unexpected payday. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's hidden coin treasures, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss another chance to discover the rare and valuable coins hiding in plain sight. And if you've ever found a rare coin yourself, we'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments below. Coin number 4. We're zooming in on one of the most surprising coins in modern US history, a little nickel that most people completely ignore. But don't blink, because this could be one of the most valuable nickels you've never paid attention to. That's right, we're talking about the Jefferson nickel from the year 2000, minted in Philadelphia. Just a 5-cent coin. Just a simple nickel. Or is it? Here's the twist. While millions of these were produced and spent without a second thought, a small number of 2000p Jefferson nickels have become extremely desirable in the eyes of collectors. Why? Because a combination of near-perfect condition, rare strike characteristics, and the right kind of minting quirks has made a handful of these coins truly exceptional. But before we jump into what makes it rare, let's take a step back and talk about the coin itself. The Jefferson nickel has been around since 1938. Its design hasn't changed much over the years, at least not until the Westward Journey series began in 2004. But back in 2000, the nickel still carried the classic Felix Schlag design. On the obverse, you've got Thomas Jefferson facing left, along with the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" followed by the date 2000. The reverse features the domed image of Jefferson's home, Monticello, along with the phrases "E pluribus unum, United States of America," and the denomination 5 cents. It's a design you've seen 1,000 times. Maybe more. And that's what makes this story so fascinating, because somewhere within that sea of ordinary coins, a few stand out as rare treasures. Now let's talk about what separates the rare ones from the rest. First up, mint mark. Look to the right of Monticello on the back of the coin. If you see a small P, that stands for the Philadelphia Mint, where this coin was struck. In the year 2000, Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels. But here's the thing, mass production doesn't mean every coin is the same. Far from it. In fact, it's in these large runs where striking errors and unique variations can slip through unnoticed. One of the most important characteristics to watch for is something collectors call full steps. If you take a close look at the steps in front of Monticello, you'll see they often appear soft or worn even right from the mint. But every now and then, a coin is struck with such sharp detail that the steps are fully visible, perfectly defined. That's called a full steps Jefferson nickel, and it instantly makes the coin more desirable. But now, imagine a 2000p nickel that not only has full steps but is also in pristine condition, uncirculated, with original mint luster and virtually no flaws. Better still, what if that same coin also had a mint error? Double dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, weak strikes, these aren't just oddities. They're opportunities. Even a slight doubling of letters, especially on the word liberty or the date, can be a major indicator of value. And if a coin is struck off-center, or shows a ghosted image from a die clash, that error can make your ordinary nickel extremely collectible. You might be wondering, how does a coin like that even exist in such perfect shape? Well, in some cases, it's pure luck. A coin may have skipped circulation and landed in a mint set or got tucked away by someone who didn't know its value at the time. Or perhaps a collector spotted something special and kept it safe from the wear and tear of daily use. Either way, those rare survivors, those few nickels from the year 2000 that came out flawless or with special features, are the ones that hold the real magic. And remember, not all value lies in age. Sure, we all dream of finding a century-old coin, but modern coins, especially ones with unique minting characteristics, can sometimes be just as valuable, if not more so. The trick is in knowing what to look for. The 2000p Jefferson nickel has slowly gained attention in the numismatic community, especially those examples that combine high grade, full steps, and rare mint errors. As awareness grows, so does competition, and that drives prices higher. The coin world is like any other market. Rarity, condition, and demand set the stage for serious returns, and now we come to the moment you've all been waiting for, the part where we find out just how much this little coin can actually be worth. If you're lucky enough to come across a 2000 Jefferson nickel from the Philadelphia Mint that has full steps, no signs of wear, and possibly a notable mint error, then you're looking at something extraordinary. These elite examples, the best of the best, have sold for amounts ranging from $15,000 all the way up to $35,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A coin with a face value of just 5 cents. A coin from this century. A coin you might have right now in your possession. It could be worth as much as $35,000 if the condition and details are just right. So here's what you should do next. Go through your change. Check old coin rolls, mint sets, and forgotten coin jars. Look closely, really closely, at every 2000 Jefferson nickel you find. Examine the steps, check for any errors, and consider having it graded by a professional service if it looks especially sharp. Because that tiny, everyday coin might be far more valuable than you ever imagined. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden world of valuable nickels, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you're always the first to know about rare finds, collector tips, and modern coins that are making big waves. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, let us know in the comments. We love hearing stories from fellow collectors and treasure hunters like you. Coin number 5, where ordinary coins turn into extraordinary stories. If you've ever looked at a simple nickel and thought, there's no way this could be worth anything more than 5 cents, well, today, we're about to change that, because hidden among the millions of nickels that passed through hands in the early 1990s is a rare gem, a 5-cent piece that collectors will pay thousands for. And it's not from the 1940s or 1950s. It's not silver, and it's not some ultra-obscure coin either. It's the 1993 Jefferson nickel, minted in Philadelphia. That's right, 1993. A modern coin. From a modern year. And yet, a small number of these nickels are worth far more than you could imagine. Let's rewind the clock. The year was 1993. Bill Clinton had just stepped into the White House. Jurassic Park was tearing up the box office. The internet was still dial-up, and people were still using payphones. While the world was changing rapidly, one thing remained consistent: the US Mint kept producing coins for everyday use. That year, the Jefferson nickel continued to be a staple of American coinage, just as it had been since 1938. The design of the 1993 Jefferson nickel was familiar to everyone. On the front, Thomas Jefferson looks off to the left. You'll see the words "In God We Trust" to his left, "Liberty" to his right, followed by the year 1993. On the back, we see Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home. It's a clean, classic design. Simple, yes, but rich in history. Now here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. While hundreds of millions of nickels were minted that year, only a very tiny fraction have characteristics that make them incredibly valuable today. First, let's talk about the mint mark. Look on the reverse side, just to the right of Monticello. If you see a small P, you're holding a coin from the Philadelphia Mint. The P mint mark is common, but not all 1993 P nickels are created equal. That's because, hidden among the masses, a small number of these coins were struck under exceptional or unusual circumstances. Let's get into what really matters: condition and detail. Collectors are always looking for coins that show full steps on Monticello. That means all the steps leading up to the building are perfectly visible, with no blending, no soft strikes, no wear. It's a level of detail that's hard to achieve, especially in a coin that went through circulation. So when a Jefferson nickel from 1993 shows full steps and is in pristine, uncirculated condition, that coin instantly becomes a top-tier collectible. But that's not all. Some 1993 P nickels have even more going for them, because they were minted with errors. And in the world of coin collecting, errors or gold dot, we're talking about double die strikes, where the letters or numbers appear to be shadowed or doubled. We're talking about off-center strikes, where the design is slightly shifted or incomplete. Or die cracks, where small lines appear on the coin like scars from the minting process itself. These errors aren't flaws in the traditional sense. In fact, they make a coin unique. One of a kind. And that's exactly what collectors want. And now imagine a coin that has all three of those qualities: perfect full steps, a well-preserved, uncirculated surface, and a recognized mint error. That's where value skyrockets. And coins like this are more common than you'd think, not because they're everywhere, but because people don't realize what they have. Many of these rare nickels end up in drawers, jars, or spend decades sitting unnoticed in collections before someone takes a closer look. That's why knowing what to look for is so important. The truth is, you could walk past a fortune every day and never even know it. That's the fun of collecting, it turns ordinary objects into mysteries waiting to be solved. So how do you know if your 1993 P. Jefferson nickel is special? Start with condition. Is the coin shiny? Crisp? Free of scratches and wear? That's a good start. Then look at Monticello. Can you see the individual steps clearly? Count them. Examine the lettering. Does it look doubled or shadowed in any way? Any unusual marks or lines that look like minting errors? These are the little clues that could unlock big value. And don't forget the grading scale. Coins are professionally graded from 1 to 70. A coin in the high 60s, especially with full steps or errors, is considered exceptional. Many of the most valuable nickels ever sold have these traits, rare combinations that make them treasures in the world of modern coinage. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. If you're lucky enough to find a 1993 Jefferson nickel minted in Philadelphia that checks all the boxes, meaning it's in near perfect condition, displays full steps on Monticello, and features a mint error, you're not just holding a 5-cent coin. You're holding something truly rare. Collectors have paid between $19,000 and $46,000 for outstanding examples of this coin. That's right. A nickel that most people would never glance at twice could actually be worth more than a brand new car. And it could be sitting in your coin jar right now. So do yourself a favor. Check your coins. Inspect every nickel from 1993. Look for that little P. Look for the steps. Look for the shine. Because one day, someone is going to find a fortune in a handful of spare change, and it might as well be you. If you enjoyed this video and want more stories about coins hiding massive value in plain sight, make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you never miss a future upload. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin, tell us in the comments. Your story could inspire another collector. Thanks for watching, and remember, in the world of coin collecting, even 5 cents can carry a priceless history. Stay curious, stay sharp, and keep hunting for those hidden treasures.